तीन भुवन में सार, वीतराग विज्ञानता, शिव स्वरूप शिवकार, नमः त्रियोग संहार के. Okay. I'll keep this on, and I'll ask you very small, quick questions. Okay. Let's begin with the questions. Today we'll do this small thing that everybody has to raise their hand in case if they want to answer a particular question. I think the interface is quite similar to you. You know how to raise your hand in this particular software. Fine, so we'll do that. And as soon as I get the answer, I'll unmute you, and I'm muting you all on. Okay, let's move ahead. My first question is, what is the translation for Bhuvana? Okay, I have a hand. Yes, Adi?
Lok.
Lok, what are the types of lok?
Madhyalok.
Yes.
Adholok.
Yes.
Urdhalok.
And Urdhvalok. How many are they then?
3.
3. Okay. Teen means 3 in English. Teen in Hindi and 3 in English. Very good. Thank you. Okay. My next question is, tell me who lives in the Urdhvalok. Oh, good. I've got hands. Sachi.
The heavenly beings.
The heavenly beings. Very good. Very good. Okay. My next question is, who lives in the Adholok? Okay, I have Adi Gudhka. Is that you, Adi?
No, we are Adisha. There's another
sorry.
Adi Gudka.
Oh, achha, okay, sorry again. Vinci. Jai Janendra.
Jai Janendra.
Yes, go ahead.
So in Adholok, the hellish bodies live there.
Very good. And what do you mean by hellish?
Like people that go to hell, almost like bad, like people that have done bad sins in their previous
sinful beings are called as hellish people. Very good. Thank you. Okay, fine. My next question is, yes, what do you mean by Sar? I only have 2 hands. I do not have more hands. Acha, Veer, can you tell me what is Sar? Acha, sorry, I'll have to unmute you. Somebody else also wants to answer the question. Okay, I have Pankti.
Sar means conclusion.
Sar means, oh, another new meaning. Thank you, Pankti. Veer, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I'm there.
Yes.
My mouse wasn't working before.
Fine. So, what does Sar mean?
Sar means conclusion.
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
Or,
yes.
Or you can also. I can't remember.
Okay, fine.
The other meaning for it.
The other meaning was essence. So Sar and essence, conclusion, all these words can do. So conclusion and essence, basically, how are they, can be used in the same sense, is whatever you want, at the end of a particular thing is a conclusion, and whatever you want from a particular thing, so you remove all the raw things from it, whatever remains, it can also be called as conclusion. So in that way, conclusion and essence both are the correct meanings for sar. Thank you very much, and thank you, Pankti, for another new meaning. Okay, let's move ahead. And then we learned about Vitrag Vigyanata. What is Vitrag Vigyanata? Before that, I want to ask you another question. What is Vitrag Vigyanata doing in this particular verse? Is my question clear? What is Vitrag Vigyanata doing in this particular first verse of prelude? Okay, Pankti is answering again. Go ahead.
No, I think she mistakenly raised, I think.
Adi, go ahead.
You have to lower the hand, I think.
Yes.
Adi?
You go ahead, it's yours.
It gives paraworldly and worldly benefits.
Those are the benefits of reading Chedhala. My question is about Vitrag Vigyanata. What is Vitrag Vigyanata doing in this particular verse, in this first prelude verse?
It's saying that there's no other right thing except for Vitarag Vigyan.
Very good. What it means is we are bowing towards it. We are bowing ourselves to Vitrag Vigyanata. We are not bowing to an individual or to a particular, what can I say? Like in this thing, Panch Namokar Mantra, we are basically not bowing to a particular individual. We are bowing to a sect. Arhant is a sect. Arhant ek pad hai. It's not particularly an individual. But here we are not talking about an individual. We are neither talking about an individual, nor we are talking about a sect. Here we are talking about qualities. This is beyond Namokar Mantra. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Because Namokar Mantra has 5 Parmeshthis, but why these 5 Parmeshthis are important, the answer to that question lies in this Vitrag Vigyanata. Jaivish, are you trying to get what I'm trying to say? Okay, good, very good. Fine. So Vitrag Vigyanata are not the names of an individual. They are not the names of a particular segment of people. Vitrag Vigyanata are the qualities by which somebody becomes a huge, a great person, a god, also I can say. So Vitrag Vigyanata are nothing but they are those qualities by which somebody can become a god. Is it clear, everybody, now?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. So this is what we have understood by Vitrag Vigyanata. Now I'd like somebody to tell me what do you mean by Vitragata. Please raise your hand. I have one hand. I have 2 hands. Where are the other hands? I am unmuting Jaivish. Jaivish, tell me what is Vitragata. Have I?
Attachment has been removed.
Very good. I see you are referring to our PDFs very nicely. Thank you, Jaivish. So yes, Vitragata means somebody who has renounced, who has left out, who has removed rag from his life is called as Vitragi. What does rag comprise of? My next question is, what does rag comprise of? There are 3 things of which rag is comprised. Yes, I have another set of hands. Yes, Sachi.
It means the three things are attachment, aversion, and illusion.
Very good. Can you cite a small example of attachment?
Like you're attached to your mum and your parents.
Wonderful. What? Give me an example for aversion.
Maybe you're not attached to.
Anything that you dislike. Aren't there any? Oh, come on. You're taking so much
Any
amount of
random
time.
food.
Sorry, what?
Maths.
Mathematics. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Very good. Chalo. Let's go back. Now I want somebody to raise their hands and tell me and cite an example. Oh, I remember. Javish, I had to ask a question to you today. Oh, now I remember. Okay, anybody can answer that question. Now listen to my question very carefully. What is illusion? So illusion is basically considering your body as your soul. When we consider the body as soul, we stop thinking that we are the administrator of the body, and we start thinking on those lines that the body is the administrator of ours. Administrator is not a difficult word, right? Is it a difficult word? No. So this is what I was trying to tell you. If the body is not your administrator, then my question is, how are you able to see? You are able to see through your eyes. Acha, okay, Javish is answering the question. Go ahead, my dear. Here you go. Oh, what happened? Go ahead, say.
The knowledge from the soul helps you see, and your eyes are part of the body, so you can't see with the eyes but your soul.
Your mother told you this answer, or you figured it out by yourself?
My mother helped me.
Okay, very good, very good. I am absolutely impressed by the answer that you have framed. Wonderful, very good. Basically, the body, there are two activities simultaneously going on. There are two activities simultaneously going on. Like I can ask a question to any one of you. Are you, the son or daughter of your mother, or are you a son or a daughter of your father? What will be the answer to that question? I think everybody knows the answer to that question, that you are the son or daughter of both the parents. You cannot say either one of them. You are the sons and daughters of both the parents. In the same way, whatever you are seeing through your eyes, basically these are two particular activities. One activity which is done by closing and shutting and opening of your eyes like this. And the second activity is the knowledge with which you are trying to understand a particular thing. So there are two particular set of things by which you understand or see a particular activity. Fine. So this is what was illusion. So an example of illusion, I think I should have an example of illusion. Somebody can give me an example of any illusion? I'd like to have an example from any elder person. Brinjal is there. Brinjal can answer my question. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Bijal Bain. I'm so sorry for pronouncing it wrong. But no, I guess. Okay. I only have 2-3 hands. Okay, fine. I'll have it with Sachi. Go ahead.
It's like you. Is it like you think you want to do something, but it's not really there? Like the example you gave yesterday was like, if you go find water in a desert, but it's not.
Very good. Very good. That is an illusion. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Fine. I'll have another thing by Vinci. Go ahead, Vinci.
So another illusion would be, I think I gave this one yesterday, but I'm not sure. Like at the end of the rainbow, there are many people who think that there's a pot of gold, but it's not really there because the rainbow
Yes.
keeps moving.
Yeah. Good.
So you never find it.
Yes, I think you had given this example earlier too. Thank you. Okay, now I'm unmuting Adi Gudhaka.
You can see, like, for example, same as what Sachi said, you can see mirages in the desert, like rocks, water, or like land.
Okay, great. There can be plenty other examples as well, but then fine. Thank you very much for the example. Okay, so this is what we understood by illusion. So illusion, attachment and aversion, all these three things comprise of rag, and the person who, of the quality of which we are talking is called as Vitaragda, wherein this rag has been completely removed. Rag is removed, which means rag, attachment, aversion, and illusion, all of them are removed, so we can understand everything very clearly without any affection or without any effect. Affection and effection. I mean, yeah, I think you got it. Now let's go to Vijnanata. Is there a question? Is there a question, Sachi? Oh, Sachi has a question. Where are you? What's the question?
Is illusion basically like your imagination?
Yeah, it is an imagination, but an imagination with which you live. Right? So considering body as soul, you live with it. Considering that you look from your eyes only, your eyes are the only thing through which you are able to look or understand a particular thing. So that is an illusion. Or I can say, what else? Yeah, your parents are the only ones who can give you advices. So there are certain things which we have a preconceived notion for them, and hence we think that these are those things which really exist. So such imaginations which we think exist in the world, we are talking about them as illusion. Thank you very much for the question, and it was a very good and apt question. Now, since 3 days, we have been talking about only this. Now let's move forward, and you have to recite after me the last 3 lines which are there in front of your screen. Fine? Shiv Swaroop Shiv Ka. Say. Namahu Triyog Samharike. Okay, great. Now I think you can unmute yourself. I'm done with the activity. I want Veer to please recite the 3rd line.
Shiva Swarupa Shiva Ka.
Very good, with the proper musical intonations. I loved it. Jia, can you please recite the last line? I got it. Very good, my dear. Fine. So let's understand both of these lines in short, and then we can move on to the next one. Shiv means happiness. Shiv means liberation. Shiv means something which is beyond rag, dvesh, and bad knowledge or anything of that sort. Shiv basically means something which helps you get liberation or happiness. So that is Shiv. Swarup means comprising of. So this Vitarag Vijnanata basically comprises of Shiva. That means happiness. So whenever you talk about Vitarag Vijnanata, it gives you happiness, and hence with the happiness you can reach to liberation. This is what it means by Vitarag Vijnanata. Fine. Next again is the same word, Shiva. Shiv means liberation or happiness, as I've already told you. And the next one is Kar. Kar means doer. So whatever whatever nature a particular thing has, it can only give you that. Like the nature of sugar is to provide sweetness, right? So its nature is also sweet, and whenever you taste it, you will also understand you will also get the sweetness. Are you getting it, what I'm trying to say? Is there a question, Adi?
What does kara mean again?
Okay.
Kar.
Yes. Kar means the doer. Doer means something which does. So whatever has Shiv in it can give you Shiv. Look at my screen. I think you'll get from that from there as well. But there's a problem that I really do not know this technology, and I am very stupid to understand it. Okay, fine. Leave that. So what I'm saying is, whatever has Shiv can give you Shiv. Did you get the meaning of Kar now? Kar means to provide, to give, something which does a particular activity. So my example was, let's talk about salt. The nature of salt is salty, and hence whenever you taste it, it gives your tongue a taste of salt, right? So the nature becomes Swarup, and the taste that you get is called as Kar. That means it can give you that. So Vitarag Vijnanata has happiness at its core. And once it has happiness at its core, it can give you happiness whenever you take abode of it, whenever you take shelter of it. Am I clear, or am I clear? Fine.
Your voice has been cracking, Panditji.
Okay.
I have a question.
Somebody has a question. Please go ahead with your question.
Is like Kar basically the job of that thing? Like sugar's job is to provide you sweetness.
Yes. I only mean to say that Kar means doing or providing, right? See, sugar is always sweet, but you get to understand its sweetness when you taste it. Are you getting what I'm saying? So Shiv Swarup means, yeah, okay, thank you. Shiv Swarup means the one which has the characteristic of Shiva. Shiv Swarup, the nature of Shiva. And then the Kar means the one which can give you that particular Shiva, so that you can enjoy that Shiva happiness, liberation, for endless time. Okay, yes, Adi, what's your question?
What's the difference between Swarupa and Kar?
Okay, that is what I was trying to tell you. Listen to me very carefully now, right? This is, I just, gave you a small example. The example was, tell me, when is sugar not sweet? It is always sweet?
Yeah.
But do you taste that sweetness all the time?
No.
You taste it, whenever you taste it, you will get that sweetness. So Shiv Swarup means having sweetness, and Shivkar means to have that sweetness. I mean to taste that sweetness,
Experience that sweetness.
experience that sweetness. Did you get it now?
Yeah.
Everybody else got it, or you still have a question?
To have it and to experience it.
So, so we understood by this, Shiv Swarup means having Shiv, and Shivkar means providing Shiv. Is it clear now? Having and providing, these two words would, these two things can help you understand it, right? Okay, let's move a little more forward. So what does this line completely mean? That Vitrag Vijnanata has Shiv at its core, and it gives you that Shiv whenever you take shelter of it. Whenever you come to its shelter, you will get that happiness, liberation completely. Is it clear? I think it's clear now. Thank you. And at the last line, what are they trying to say is Namahu Triyog Samharike. So what does that mean? Namahu means I bow to you. Triyog means Man, Vachan, Kai. That means Man is with all my might, Vachan is by all my words, and Kai means by all my body. So I bow to you with my body, I bow to you with the words that I'm saying, and I bow to you by keeping you in my head. Is it clear? Man, Vachan, Kai. Quite clear to you, to all of you? Triyog means Man, Vachana, Kaya. Man means the thoughts, Vachan means the words, and Kaya means the body. Man means the thought, Vachan means the words, and Kaya means the body. So I bow to you by all the three of them, by, by abstaining all the three of them. Maybe abstain is quite a negative word, but I can say samharike means, in a very good way, in the best way possible. I bow with the help of all these three. Veer, am I clear?
Yes, you're clear.
Okay, thank you.
Understand.
Jay Shri ji, am I clear? Kirpa ji, am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Pankti ji, am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Again, all these three lines clubbed together, I'm just making one sentence so that you can understand the complete meaning of this particular first verse of Prelude. What it means is, in all these three lokas, there is only one conclusion, there is only one essence, and that is Vitarag Vijnanata. This Vitarag Vijnanata is nothing but it is the characteristic of soul, of happiness, and whenever you take shelter to it, you get that happiness. Hence, with all my might, with all my words, and with all my body, I bow to you. Is the complete meaning of the prelude clear to everybody, or still something remains? What is it, Adi? Wait,
Last line. So the last line means there in these teen loks, there is only one thing that is right, which is Vitaraga Vijnanata.
Yes. Yes, I think this, he only wanted to hear a yes. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Fine. So this is how we understood that. I think this one word might trouble you a little. The word is samharike. Fine. Samharike means by controlling. So by controlling my words, by controlling my thoughts, and by controlling my body, I bow in front of you. So we all know how do we bow. Do we all know how do we bow in front of the God, in front of the idol in the temple? Can somebody do that in front of me right now? Can somebody bow like we bow in front of the idol? You have to, show it to me. Adi is trying. Thank you, Adi. Somebody else wants to try, but this is very half of it. Adi, no, complete one. With all your knees and with all your hips and with all your, back bone. I'm talking about that one. Good. Very good. Okay. So this is what is called bowing with the help of the body. Fine. With all the words, that whatever words come to your mouth should come with an intention of bowing to Vitarag Vijnanata. And whatever thoughts come to you, we bow to that with the help of that as well. Okay. Let's talk about the next. Let's talk about the second verse. Today we are only going to recite the second verse. Is my screen completely visible to everybody? Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll recite a small line, for only one line. You have to repeat it after me. Fine. जे त्रिभुवन में जीव अनंत, Darshi, recite it. I'll recite it again. जे त्रिभुवन में जीव अनंत, सुख चाहे दुख ते भयवंत, ताते दुख हारी सुखकार, कहे सीख गुरु करुणाधार. Okay, so I think everybody has recited. Now let me talk about only the first two lines, and then the class might go off. So in case if you have any other questions, we can do them a little later. Je Tribhuvan me Jeev Anant. In this three loka, there are infinite number of Jeev. There are infinite number of souls. Clear? So there are infinite number of souls in this particular in this particular world, the world which has three lokas: Urdhvalok, Madhyalok, and Adholok. Tribhuvan is the same what we had seen in the previous verse. May Jeev Anant. Jeev Anant means Anant Jeev. Anant means infinite, and Jeev means soul. So in this particular world, there are Anant Jivas. There are infinite number of souls. Sukh chahe, dukh te bhayavant. They all want happiness. Sukh chahe, dukh te bhayavant. They are all fearful of unhappiness. Clear? It was very simple. Okay? In this, there are infinite number of souls in this world. They all want happiness and they all fear unhappiness. Clear? Any questions? No? No? Oh, okay. So this is where we end our class. So we all are those in the world who all want happiness, but then they are fearful of unhappiness. So what should we do to, remove unhappiness and get happiness? We will come back to you